I was traveling from Hyderabad to Delhi in a train. After a few rough moments here and there, our train stopped at a small station near Bhopal. We first didn't realize what was happening, but eventually the crowds came from one railway car to another, one by one, and went on systematically targeting each individual Sikh who was present there. So when my turn came, there were kicks, punches, hits. The main target was my head. So many in the crowd, for example, wedged themselves against one wall of the railway car and kicked very strongly with their feet, with their shoes and boots. In the heat of being beaten up, being lynched, you don't realize quite a few things which I did realize later on. The impact of some of those punches was so strong that I later realized that just by punches on the ear, my eardrum had punctured. They dragged me by the hair, a whole lot of hair had come out, and I ended up with a lot of bumps in my head. I must say at this time that my story is really very different. I can't say that I had a happy ending, because happy ending is not even available on this menu. I had an ending, at least an ending, and after seeing a few moments of clip from this movie, I'm reminded of some of the clips that I saw myself in real life, and my heart really goes out to those who even after 26 years have had no ending at all. No ending in 26 years. There were policemen around, quite a few of them, and all I could hear from them were provocations like मार दो साले को, छोड़ो नहीं किसी को, इन्होंने हमारी माँ को मार डाला, किसी को नहीं छोड़ो, मार दो, जो कर सकते हो इनको जाने नहीं दो. Those of you who have traveled in Indian railway cars, you know that each compartment each railway car is divided into sub-segments of 6 seats, 6 sleeping berths. Within those 6 berths where I was present and I was being beaten up, there were 2 or 3 military army men, and none of them came to rescue. Once they realized I was dead, my body was thrown on the railway tracks. By a number of almost zero probability miracles, I survived. I woke up and went back into the same compartment. We also heard this time that some of the Sikh army men had been scared, although it turned out to be not later on. And I asked these 2 or 3 army men who were sitting there if they could lend me a uniform, because they had already saved my life when I go further towards Delhi, and their answers were very clear that, sir, we really would have liked to help you, our heart goes out to you, but you know what, there is a protocol, we cannot really give you a uniform. Again, those who are familiar with the railway car in India probably know that there is a small sub-compartment inside which is under normal circumstances meant for ladies. It has seat 6 and that was completely empty, and one of the passengers there poked me into that and they said, well, if you go inside it will be relatively safer. Once I was seated there, I had already given up. In my mind, I have my daughter who was 2 months old. I have my son who was 4 years old and had my wife of 5 years. I stood up during the mobilize. And I was very thankful to God that I at least got to my own mobilize, because I had heard what was happening around and I knew almost nobody had the privilege of even doing that. It might seem strange to say, but I must say that after doing my own class, I felt a level of serenity that I have almost never experienced again. It was almost as if not only that the death had accepted me, I had also accepted it. For several hours, starting at 2 p.m. in the morning, I kept on pleading with them. I told them about my children, about my wife, about my family, but I was civilian. They eventually told me to go to the civilian police, and I had already known from them by that time that that would be very dangerous. Then by this time, all the other army men who had been traveling from train and arriving there, they told us what was happening in the rest of the country, which included all the details that you've seen here, including men being burned alive and women being brutally gang raped, children being tossed into burning fires, and all the things that go with it. So I was very clearly destined for one of those fates. When I told them if the crowds came in the morning, would they save me? And these army officers and men at the railway station told me what had happened the previous day, which was that 2 Sikhs had come to them for shelter. A crowd of about 50 to 100 built up. The crowd threatened the army officers that unless they hand over these 2 Sikhs to them, the crowd would burn their facility. So these army officers handed over these 2 Sikhs to the crowd, who got lynched and killed in the presence of these army men. My approximate estimate is there must have been a few dozen army men completely armed, and the crowd was armed with lathis, sticks, and kerosene, and they could not save them. Again, quite a few odd events intervened, and a very senior police officer came there, and I told him that I had been asked to approach a civilian police officer if he could arrange for shelter for me, and he gave me the option of taking the next train to Delhi so that I can get out of that problem at Gwalior. I told him, I said, look, this is what I heard about what's happening around Delhi in trains. And his answer was very clear. He said, Sardarji, whatever is written in your destiny, I can't interfere in that. How can I? That is your destiny. Speaking here, my thought just goes to an imaginary possibility. Imagine a 911 dispatched police officer coming to your house when you are being brutally killed, making that argument that this is your destiny and what can I do about that. Eventually, with a number of other odd possibilities happening for me, I ended up at the Gwalior Army base, stayed there for 2 days before they sent me to the Gwalior Fort Gurdwara. While I was there at this Gwalior Army base, one of the persons who was housed next to me, a senior army officer, was sent to Delhi to rescue police, a very senior army officer. Now I must say, I'm not very familiar with the Indian army ranks, but it was one of the very top army officers, much beyond the general level who were being rescued. When this team of army officers who went to rescue him came back and talked to me personally, they described all the horrifying things that you have heard today and probably on other days happening in front of their eyes. They said that train that you were riding had a special railway car. And again, those of you who are familiar with the situation know that many times when army officers or army troops go on vacation, if there are quite a few of them, they go in a special railway car in the railway. There was a railway car with army officers that had 37 army men. And this person with his own eyes saw 37 badly mutilated bodies of these army officers. He described an event that he had witnessed where a major who was traveling in a train had been pulled out. His head had been punctured with scissors a number of times. His thighs had been punctured with scissors a number of times, and he was cut like into a lot of pieces, just as a lot of people had been burnt alive a number of places. I want to emphasize the battle we are fighting at this moment is not a battle of the sword, it's a battle of the pen. And I'm really very thankful to all those who are organizing this function here of our sons and daughters who could not verbalize the word, even mama and papa at that time when the events took place are now raising their voice. I just want to say one more time, and that is, जिस गुड़ती लई शहीदी दी उस कौम दी हस्ती मिटदी ना लखां कल्लूकारे आए लखां अब्दाली हार गए. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much to the organizers of this program. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.